Tony Khan apparently is unhappy with his offer from Warner Brothers Media, Discovery, excuse me. And there was an article written a few days ago by Puck being the outlet, Matt Baloney, formerly of The Hollywood Reporter. So he said that WBD head David Zaslav and TNT Sports head Louis Silberwasser, if I think I got away with that one, want to retain AEW Dynamite, Collision, and Rampage. However, Baloney writes, the clock is ticking, quote. I'm told the exclusive window closes in July, and AEW leader Tony Khan is said to be disappointed with the offer currently on the table. Khan also surely knows that Zaz losing the NBA would give AEW more leverage, even though the money to re-up AEW is a mere drop in the NBA bucket. If the window closes without a deal, others could swoop in for those rights, as Comcast has done with NBA. Extra awkward because WBD is said to own a stake in the league. He went on to speculate that he's unsure of how attractive AEW is to other platforms, given only non-WWE partners can be in on potential bidding. He also said AEW provides reliable programming, and that if Zaslav loses both the NBA and AEW TV rights, that could cause more damage in WBD's deals with cable providers. We'll leave that there for now, because there's very much a follow-up with it. But disappointed with the offer supposedly from this article, Tony Khan. What's your reaction?
Okay, what's he getting right now?
That's a good question. I think originally it was said to be about $80 million per year for
18
all the programming.
million?
No, 80.
80 million.
80 million. So apparently, this is according to Dave Meltzer, of course, who has a direct line to Tony Khan, said the company will be looking for something like $125 million a year for all the programming, and that would be seen as a big victory. Something like 100 million or under would be considered bad.
Mm-hmm. Well, their ratings don't increase. They haven't increased. And they're stuck on the 700,000 for Rampage or 800,000 for Rampage, I think. Dynamite. And I think Rampage has went down as low as 400,000, right?
They actually did under 3. I think they did the worst they ever did, but the show was moved to a different time slot. But I think they only did just over 200, the last one.
Really? But
yeah,
it was a different time slot, right?
Yeah, but not markedly different. I think it was like 6 o'clock instead of like 11 o'clock or something.
Well, that's a bad time. 6 o'clock. That's news time. People are not going to watch wrestling when the news are on. But I don't know. People think, or Tony Khan thinks that his show is worth more, and I don't blame him. But he's not the one paying. He's the one getting paid. So he needs to have a high price on it, and then they're going to haggle in between there. I think it'll stay there. I don't think he'll get the money he wants. And he'll come back out and say, yeah, we come up with a very amicable deal. That's the only thing he can say. So whether they get their money or not, I don't think he will. And all these other, like the NBA moving or leaving or whatever, I think it has an effect on it, but not as much as people think.
Really? Because from what I gathered, TBS, TNT, I can't remember which one the NBA is on because I don't have the channels over here, but they were going after the C block, not the A block, not the B block of programming that they would have purchased for the next few years. They went for the C block with the majority of lesser interest, I was going to say games. And that's still going billions.
That's what the TV show is. You rank it a C because you don't see the matches you want to see. You see some guy you've never heard of. It's almost like, I think you put Memphis wrestling on in the place of AEW right now, you might draw the same thing. And it's 40 years old. Who knows?
With that being said, Dave Meltzer has responded to this. AEW sources have told Dave, I imagine the AEW sources being Tony Khan, because they're really good friends, have told him that the first offer was not disappointing to Tony Khan, but that the two sides have yet to reach any deal. After reporting came out, it was pointed out by some online that Baloney is longtime friends with WWE CEO Nick Khan, and that Baloney has had Khan on his podcast before, leading some to believe it was a planted piece to harm AEW. WWE met with WBD during their TV rights negotiations, which Tony Khan said was part of sports when asked about it. But what Dave Meltzer said was, the numbers that I hear, I would not call disappointing. So Dave Meltzer is now saying through AEW sources, which actually means a phone call with Tony Khan, saying that Matt Baloney, the guy who we've got this information from, is a planted story, but that the story that Dave Meltzer is running is not a planted story, despite the fact we know he's really good friends with Tony Khan.
What's the old saying? Don't believe anything in half of what you read. The truth lies somewhere in there. I think it was a disappointing number, but I can't say. I'm not there. I don't know. But I damn sure wouldn't put a lot of faith in what Dave Meltzer says. He is almost a paid public relations arm of AEW, because he thought one time they were going to make him, I heard he wanted to be part of the booking team. And I wish he would be part of that booking team and let him blow his brains out about after 3 days, like, oh my God, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. And it all runs together after a while. I don't know how Tony Khan tries to book 3 shows and do them justice. I don't think you can.
Well, that's funny you mentioned that.
And who is helping him? I've heard nobody. He's got to have help.
No, I think there are certain people helping him. There are, but ultimately he's like the Vince McMahon. He's the person who gives it the thumbs up, thumbs down. But I think he, unlike McMahon, is far more involved with what should be happening on the shows. It's not just brought to him on a silver platter like it would have been with Vince McMahon back in the day.
I think he needs to take a chance. If a guy comes to him and said, let me do this and see how you like it. Don't even look at it till it airs. Then say if you like it or not. That's how you find out if a guy's any good or not. He either sinks or swims. He swims or sinks.
You see, that's a good point. The owner of a promotion would hire a booker and then let the booker book.
Right.
So when did that change? Did that change with Vince, or did in any of the places that you booked, were you ever micromanaged like that?
Never. Okay. They were, the places I booked, they were sick of booking anyway. They were glad to be away from it. So do what you do. And if you sit up there in the stands and you watch a show, if you do a couple of things that the people really like, hell, that's an improvement. See, the way I book, I didn't book from the first match on all the way up, because my guys basically were too green than to do a finish. That's all they could do. Now, when I got up to about the third match from the top, yeah, the guys had a little experience. Now you can do things with them, but don't give them something that they can't do, because they will screw it all up, not meaning to, but they will screw it up in trying to get it right. So make it simple. Keep it simple, stupid. That's what it is. So I would keep it simple, and I'd let them go 10 minutes, and I'd use such really fantastic finishes like a small package. Wow. Sometimes the matches were so bad, the finish got a big pop, because you know why? It was over.
Because it ended.
Oh, yeah. Please get them bastards out of here. Please, please. And you know the old hook they used to use in vaudeville? I should have had one of those and run it on stage and yank them off. But they busted her butt. And even when they come back, I never cussed and raised hell and screamed and hollered at them. They did the best they could. So I tried to help them, say, don't do this and don't do that. And why did you do this? And that's how they learn. And you got to do that almost every night. See, every night when I'd go to a show, we only ran like 3 nights a week. But after the earlier matches would come in, I would get them together, talk to them, and that's how they would learn. And progressively, they got better. But see, if you go back, and nobody can learn anything if you're like screaming and hollering and getting all upset with them. They didn't. I told a booker that one time. I said, they didn't mean to screw it up. They just screwed it up. So tell them what they did wrong without the screaming. Now they're afraid to do anything. But anyway, no, they never tried to micromanage me.